Guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Lord Master ZXI. I do what ifs and I do gaming videos sometimes. Only if y'all want. And if I'm feeling like it, I will do an Apex stream, Minecraft stream, whatever. I'm just kind of bored sometimes. Alright, so this is a video of what if Deku was a Transformer. Well, what if Deku had sort of a metal quirk, but more like a Transformer, right? So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so ever since Deku was 4, he'd be diagnosed with, sort of, Kimimaru, right? How he can, sprout metal out of his bodies. Sprout bone out of his body, right? It'd be kind of like that for Deku, but it'd be metal instead, right? Plus, it'd be very, very limited, so he couldn't just, like, sprout out a full-on knife, right? Out of his hand, right? So, yeah. Alright, yeah, just wait one sec. Alright, yeah. So, Deku, ever since he was a kid, wouldn't ever get bullied by Kachan that much. Mainly because, he actually has a quirk, instead of just being quirkless, So, yeah, Deku, whenever Deku would sometimes, just use his quirk, right? And just be fascinated how the metal just seamlessly comes out of, his skin, right? As Deku would always downplay himself, right? Because Deku would still love heroes, right? And would want to be a hero exactly like All Might, but he'd always downplay himself, like my quirk isn't that flashy, compared to like All Might's or Bakugo's, right? Thing. Alright, so yeah. And it's just right. So yeah, so fast forward to Deku's like 15. He's been training his quirk, honing it, right? And his quirk would be at a point where he could seamlessly activate it, right? He would have almost immense control, right? He could just, right? And straight up, right? What you see for the thumbnail, right, is what Deku would look like. But, like, it'd be way smaller. Not buildings tall yet, right? Because Deku didn't really, Deku kind of only did, like, sort of durability tests, right? And, like, sort of like strength tests for it. Not really stamina tests. He only did them only a few times, and, his stamina was, like, at least a few minutes. Right. So, yeah. What you see for the thumbnail is what Deku would look like, but just minus Deku's head, because, get the mask, right? So, yeah. Alright, so, yeah. So, fast forward to the day, they're going through, like, what high school they're gonna go to, right? Deku would still want to go to UA, like usual, but, instead of everybody doubting him, right, everybody would actually sort of encourage him, as Deku was sort of popular for his quirk, as nobody ever, right, a lot of people didn't know anyone with the quirk like Deku's, right, so his quirk was sort of rare, right, I know every quirk is like, yeah, but, like, it's not that common, right, to have somebody that can sprout metal out of his body, right? So, right, they'd be going through it. Yeah. So, after that, Deku would just think of taking a shortcut. Right? Right, so he'd go through the shortcut as when he was walking through the tunnel that was the shortcut, instead of just going around it, right? Well, yeah, right? It was just right on the left, like, the right or left side of the school, so just thought, yeah. So, he'd be going through the shortcut, right? Right about when he's in the middle, he'd hear water, running water. So he'd think, that's weird, as he'd hear a giant thud right behind him. And as Deku would look back, he'd see some dude that looks like he's like sewage water, right? As the sludge villain wouldn't notice Deku there, as Deku wouldn't know if he could trust him, right? As he don't got, bleh, why can't I speak today? Dang it, I barely, alright, we just speaking like, I gotta find someone I can take as a vessel. He noticed Deku and think, that he looks like he's playing and doesn't really, so he'd think to himself, as a sludge villain would think, I may as well just kill him, right? And take him as a vessel, right? As the sludge villain would attack, as Deku would think, nope, can't trust, right? As he'd instantly suit up, right? As the sludge villain would be like, ooh, this might be a bit of a hard fight, right? As Deku would just play defense, right? As the sludge villain would just straight up run towards, would just dash, right? As Deku would go for a punch, but would know it's useless trying to punch him, as, he's legit made out of water. His punch is just gonna pass through, right? But to Deku's surprise, it didn't, right? It impacted the sludge villain, but, after, a second after he punched, his hand went, his arm just went straight through, right? So Deku would think, he did, it's kind of simple. He kind of just, has to fight him, right? Right? But Deku would notice that the sludge villain is gone, as Deku would think, as Deku would think, that, sorry for that, as Deku would think that, the sludge villain just left for a sec, but then would think, no, right? As Deku would feel the sludge villain on his arm, as Deku would try and de-transform that arm, right, and just, up to his shoulder, just, put a ton of metal, right, and just remove all the metal on that arm, just at the shoulder, just put a ton of metal, make sure he couldn't get through. But there was one fatal error, that Deku missed. The sludge villain was already, inside of his whole suit, right, was heading up to his mask to suffocate him. As Deku would de-transform, right, as that was what the sludge villain was holding on to, right, Deku thought, but no, it was just, if he did, it would just be in vain. And it wouldn't really matter that much, as he'd still be suffocating. And Deku would try and get the sludge villain off of him, right, but would be suffocated, right, as Deku would start to black out. He'd hear, the last words he'd hear till he blacked out was Texas Smash. As Deku wouldn't think of it much, right? As Deku was like, I'm about to die, yeah. Right? As Deku would wake up, right, and see All Might, his hero, his idol, right? So yeah. So Deku would just, when he woke up, he'd ask, can he sign his notebook, right? Deku would still be a superhero nerd, but, yeah. He'd still be taking notes, right? So yeah, just take, yeah, so yeah. So Deku would open his notebook and see All Might has already signed it, right? As All Might would say he needs to go, right, and return the sludge villain, right? Deku would tell him just to wait a sec, and All Might would listen, right, as, just, just to give him, like, a few questions, right, so, to answer, right? So, just wait 1 sec, I'm sorry, I feel like I gotta puke for a sec. Alright, I'm back, I just got done puking, alright? Oh no, I just ate, so yeah. Just a little quick side note, second upload, right? Yeah. So, yeah, the rest of this what if is gonna be sort of quick, because I'm trying to record 10 what ifs, right? 10, right? 10 what ifs, no, not 10, at least 6, right? At least 6, or at least, no, at least 4, right? At least 2 more at most, I guess 4 more, right? No, at most 4. At least 1, right? 1 to 4 more what ifs I'll be recording. I won't post them all right now, as then if I did that, that'd be kind of dumb because I wouldn't have any content to post, right? Plus I'm trying to do daily uploads, not really making brand new. Alright, so yeah. Whew. Alright. So, yeah. As Deku would ask, Deku would ask, Deku would just ask, can he go to UA and actually be successful as a hero, right? As All Might would know the entrance exam pretty well, as he would be voting, right, for it. As All Might would think, that just, yeah, if you put your heart set to it, right, and just, keep putting in hard work, you can, right? As Deku would say, thank you, right? It means a lot, and would just say, that's, all I wanted to ask, and, have a good day, right? Have a great rest of your day. As All Might would go off, as Deku would see All Might would land at a nearby building. I wouldn't think much, but would see some smoke coming, right? So Deku would look closely, right, and see, there's some blood, and Deku would think, that's odd, As he'd see skinny might, just a bit of small might, So yeah. Deku wouldn't think much, as it was probably just an old man up there, right? So yeah. Well, yeah. So Deku would go on with his day and would just be going home, as he was sort of late, right? But all of a sudden he'd see a giant smoke cloud, right? So he'd rush towards it, right? Seeing what's happening, right? And would see that, Kacchan is stuck. The sludge villain took, Kacchan hostage, right? And Deku's just like, what? Wait, but didn't All Might take the sludge villain? Right? As Deku would look and see the heroes trying to do something, but would ultimately just give up, as, even Kamui Woods was still evacuating people from the buildings that were burning. And Deku's just thinking, what? Why is Kamui Woods the only one doing something, right? I was just thinking, what? You could just, you could fly in and, help Kamui Woods with evacuating people, right? And would just think, right? Because there was a flying hero that was pretty known well. He was in fact a pro hero, right? So yeah. As Deku would rush, as Deku would, move through the crowd, getting ready to activate his quirk as yeah. Alright, never mind. Alright, so yeah. As Deku would, rush in, as the heroes would tell him to stop, as Deku wouldn't listen, right? As Deku would just, rush in and try and save Kachan, right? Or Bakugo, whatever you want to call him, right? So yeah, right. So Deku would be successful for like about the first few seconds. But then after that, he bought Kachan like an extra second to breathe, but, after that, the sludge run seeped into his suit and, got him too. So it was kind of in vain, but yet again, it kind of saved Kachan. So it's like, he did good, but he didn't do that good. As All Might was in the crowd thinking, that's the same kid from earlier. Alright, sorry I accidentally ended the recording. Yeah, so, yeah. If you hear any background noises, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Alright, so Deku would, All Might would see that, that's the kid from earlier, right? So, just wait one sec. Alright, so, yeah, I'm back. Alright. So, yeah. That is about where I'm going to leave this what if off at. If you enjoyed, then yeah, you can subscribe or like. Right, subscribing is free, right? You can always undo it. So if you want, you can like, also. But other than that, I just got to say thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day or night or morning. Bye.